Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday workshop by Mustafa and Cohen. We are in OPM Tools or OverPower Marketing for short, for long, I guess. And today is Tuesday, and hence we are back with another topic. So recently, we've been seeing online that a lot of people are having problems with their A2P submission. And for the people who don't know what that is, I will explain that in just a second. But today we are going to go over the recent changes that have been made by A2P within the A2P process and how we were able to manage through it, and somehow through Cohen's expertise we have been able to get 3 out of 3 campaigns submitted and accepted within the first try. So before I go further, what A2P is a process through which you need to register your brand, your LLC, your company with a phone number within Twilio. And why is that needed? Because using the OPM system, you're trying to send out text messages using a third party software. And the third party software in this example or in this case is the OPM tools. Whichever tool that you're working with, it may be OPM or some other that allows you to send text or messaging through that particular app. You will have to get the A2P registration done first. Why? It's a legal and regulatory requirement. Cohen will take you on a further deeper dive into what A2P is and the do's and don'ts, but let's just jump into what the actual process is. So when you have a business that has an EIN number, you are either sole proprietorship or LLC or whatever your company formation is, you will need to walk the following steps in order to get your company verified. Now, the first thing is you need to have your domain connected to the system, and let me just share with you as an example. So over here, we have this test dummy sub account. In this sub account, you need to have an A2P website. Now, the A2P website does not need to be your main website. You can have a separate website on a separate domain or the main domain, but using a subdomain. What I mean by that, if my main domain is www.mustafashai.com, that's my main domain. I don't want to touch that. I can have a subdomain saying a2p.mustafashahid.com. That would be the subdomain. And I'll use that subdomain in order to get A2P verified. While my verification is still ongoing, nothing happens to my main website. So yes, you can play with your subdomain as well. Or you can just put it on your main domain. Why? Because the only pages that we are adding onto the website is going to be your privacy policy and your terms of service, and in some cases, cookies policy as well. And then you need to have a lead opt-in form where you're capturing the lead data, and that is the entire flow. So that you can have it on your main website or you can build up a secondary website. We prefer to do it on a secondary website. Everyone has their own reasoning. So within the main website, within the secondary website that we've created, this would be their supposedly landing page. So it contains the information. It's by default information. It doesn't matter what you have over here. Well, it does, but not to a certain extent that it needs to be SEO friendly or it needs to give out the accurate information. But what it needs to have is the company name here and there. It needs to have the company logo. So it looks branded to the company. It does not look like a template was just popped up with default content with lorem ipsum. Apart from that, you need to have your company name in the footer. You need to have the privacy policy and the terms of use link over here as well. And wherever you click, it should send you to a form where it grabs the data. So when I click over here on one of that buttons, it opens up a pop-up. Now this form is very important. Again, just for branding's sake, to make it look like it's an actual website, I added the image over here. It contains the first name, last name, phone, and email. Now, make sure to remember this. The phone cannot be a required field. Apart from that, you need to have 2 consent check boxes. The first one saying something according to this lines, which has the mention of your company name, the number, and this 2 particular lines, text help for assistance, and you can reply stop to unsubscribe. So reply stop to unsubscribe needs to be mentioned. It could be reply end, reply this, reply that, whatever it is, but you need to mention it in words. And secondly, the second chatbox that needs to be over here is to get the the approval or the acceptance from the client or from the lead, that when they click on this checkbox, they are giving you the permission to receive marketing messages from your company name. So your company name also needs to be over here. And within the form, it needs to contain the privacy policy and terms of service link over here as well. So that's necessary as well. Moving to the next part, which is the terms of use and the privacy policy. Again, you can get the terms of use and privacy policy from your own or use in separate something else, but it needs to have the name of your email or your domain through which people are landing on that particular website. Then it needs to have the company name as well, and so on and so on. A lot of information is needed. All right. So it needs to have different information. Again, when we use it for ourselves or for our clients, we have a certain format that we just copy and paste and change out the important information. And we have it run by the company as well. So they made sure that we are not using any invalid or not permissible languages here and there. When you have these, your domain set up, and when you have your pages set up, then is the main thing that you need to work on and actually presenting a case for you to submit your A2P. Now that we've gone over on how to create the website and the privacy policy in terms of use, anything that I missed out on would be filled by Cohen. Cohen, you there? I just told the people that they need to have a website, a domain, and then on the website, they need to have a form. Within the form and on the website as well, they need the footer with the terms of use and privacy policy link and what the privacy policy in terms of service pages needs to contain. Now you can walk them through with the tips and tricks and do's and don'ts, and as well as for the campaign submission part.
And just a general tip for whenever you're creating your webflow, your funnel, or just website, is trying to make the terms of use, the privacy policy, and the contact or opt-in form all accessible within each other. That way that there is no confusion whenever you're setting up for your A2P, and that you are more likely to get approved for it. Because what majority of these people look for whenever they're looking through your application is just general user experience. And they're trying to make sure that your company is not a scam and is being used within the legal use case. So moving on to the actual A2P application, we will go within our sub-account settings and then go to phone system and then go to the trust center. Now we want to start our registration, so let's start there. And then we are going to fill out our business details accordingly. The business that we're working with is based in the United States. Yes, they do have a tax ID or an EIN number in this case. And their legal business name is, give me one moment as I switch between tabs. And Mustafa, is the legal business name just My Dream Givers, or is there an LLC after it, or is it just My Dream Givers?
Since it's a default account, we can put in anything we want to, but yeah, just My Dream Givers will be fine.
Mm-hmm. And one thing to note whenever you're doing the legal business name is that you must put down the business name that is within your tax information. That is very important because that is what these people are going to be looking for. You cannot put your friendly business name. You must put the full legal business name. That is something that we've come across in the past, and that has caused some issues with our application before. And if you know anything about these application, is that it is costly after multiple attempts. So it is very important that you get it done the first time and the only time.
And what's the current cost of the submission itself? It's around $25, I guess.
Yes, it is around $25 per submission. So after a while, that really starts to stack up. So make sure to double check and just make sure all the information is correct. Normally, it is not the brand that is the issue; is the campaign use case for the A2P application. But there have been cases in where like one or two details have been left out within the brand details, in which case that prevented it from being approved. Now, going on to the business type, this is a sole proprietorship, correct?
Yeah, it's an LLC.
Then we have an EIN number, we will fill out the business registration number. Mustafa, do you mind providing that?
39 dash
39. Okay.
dash 324
Mhm.
3904.
Okay. The business industry would be, what would that be?
Financial.
Financial. Okay.
Yeah.
And their business email, which is already pre-filled in. If you filled in your business profile accordingly, then it will automatically put in all this information for you without you having to add on to it. So that is very convenient. Now, moving on to the website URL. Let's see. I'll need to go back to the site that Mustafa was showing.
Or you can just put in www.dreamgivers.com, because they're not going to check right now. It's not being submitted right now, right?
Yeah, we can just do a fake submission for now. It was I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it needs to be connected first. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, and if it's going to take too long, we can just use a dummy URL.
Try this one. It's in the chat.
Okay. Then moving on, we go to the business address. It is based in the United States, Alabama, so on. Continue. First name, last name, their email address. So let's see. And phone number. And the job position, let's just go with general manager. And then after you filled out all of your information, you will need to provide a valid ID whenever you're applying. So in this case, we're just going to be using my my license. And it will guide you through the steps. It will just guide you through the steps. And I will have to use my phone in order to take the picture. So 1 moment. All right. And then after that, it will ask you to scan your face to make sure that you are a real person. Unfortunately, I can't show it on my shared screen, so I will have to do this on my phone as well.
So while he's doing that, just to give you an understanding of why this process is very needed or necessary, it's to prevent people from outside US trying to use someone's information in order to get proven or get the permission. So consider this as a two-factor authentication of making sure that the person is actually someone from within the US trying to do it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fun. And then next, we're going to check which brand type we're going to be using this A2P for. So we have the option of low volume standard or high volume standard. They will both explain what they both mean. So whichever one which better fits your needs. Normally, we use low volume standard. Very rarely do we ever use high volume, since our clients are not going to be sending that many messages at a time. And then next, you'll have to check the checkbox stating I acknowledge brand and campaign registration one time is $24.49 will be charged, and then additional details. So hit continue. And then next is the campaign details, where this is very important in how you explain the general process for how a user will give their consent to be to get automated messages from you and your business, the general use case for these automated messages, what these messages will look like, and just any additional details. Now, one thing to note is you will not have to just create a paragraph on your own. You are able to use the examples that they give you. So here is one. This campaign sends appointment information and confirmation and reminder messages to customers once they have booked an appointment with company name. Obviously fill that in. On a website, fill in your website here. And opt in to receive promotional and notification SMS from company name. And I will take a second to, since there is no copy and paste button, I will take a second to write this down. So give me 1 moment. So we have the first one, confirmation and reminder messages from once they booked an appointment with company name, fill in the information there, use the website that Mustafa provided. Now, this website is going to be the page that has the opt-in form, not the home page. It is very important that you add the opt-in form page because it'll just be transparent and very easy for the one who is approving your A2P application just to see that where they're actually going to be opting in. And then after I put the use case description, I will provide the homepage link as well. And opted in to receive promotional notification SMS from company name, copy and paste. And then, like I said, I'm going to provide the homepage. So I'll just state the homepage for this company is, and then copy and paste the link to the homepage. That way you provided both the opt-in page as well as the homepage as well, and just providing the most information for the one who is approving your application. Next, we have the sample message. This is just going to be just an example of what your automated messaging will look like. They also provide examples for this as well, and they're going to be doing so for all of these sections. So it is really not that jarring of a task. Just use these examples as a basis of what information to put in, and it will go by very quickly and easily. So let's copy and paste this. Hi, John. This is the manager from company name. Our appointment for July 20th at 11 a.m. is confirmed. And there's also additionally this last section, please reach out to phone number if you need to reschedule. You are able to cut this out, this last part of if you do not have a phone number. So you can feel free to do that. But this right here, reply stop to unsubscribe, it is very important that you keep that in. This must be added for every message that you sent. It is very important that you do so. Otherwise, you are breaching basically the terms and conditions of this, and you will most likely face legal action if you do not add reply stop to unsubscribe. It is very important that you add this. And then moving on to sample message 2. They provide a sample message there. So copy and paste that. Fill in the details accordingly. I see you weren't able to make it to our appointment, want to reschedule. And then you can provide a calendar link to reschedule the appointment. Or you can just simply use the secondary one as well. Both are valid options for this case. So copy and paste the link that Mustafa provided once more. And if you do not have a calendar link, then you would most likely use the second example message as well. And then lastly, in this section, additional message details, you are basically check marking what information is within these messages. So is there embedded links? Is there a phone number attached to these messages? Is there age-gated content within these messages? And then is there content related to financial services or other loan arrangements? These last two are very unlikely. You must also take in consideration the business that you're working with and the type of messages that they're going to be sending. But for the most part, it's going to be the very first two. And then next we select the opt-in method. The opt-in method in this case would be a website form. And it is going to give an example of what a website form is going to look like. And then we're going to provide, again, the opt-in form page as well. So I'm going to copy and paste the link that Mustafa sent. And moving on to the next section, how do contacts opt in to messages? End users opt in via website form by visiting link and completing a form that collects their phone number. Users can optionally select a consent checkbox to agree to receive SMS messages. That last part is very important as well. I disconnected for a brief moment. I'm not sure if Mustafa mentioned it, but it is very important that you add the terms and conditions to receive SMS messages as well. Otherwise, you are not going to get approved, and you are going to spend an additional $24 trying to apply for your A2P. It is very important that you add the terms and condition boxes at the end of your form, having the user say, yes, I consent to receiving SMS messages. It is very important that you do so. And then everything looks good. And then the opt-in message. What is the opt-in message going to look like? We can use this one right here. You have successfully opted in to receive notification and promotional SMS from company name. Please reply stop if you need to opt out in the future. So let's copy and paste that. That was already in. Okay. Then fill in the information and reply stop down subscribe. And then you have the final checklist of all the information that needs to be included within this A2P application. So let's just go down the list. My business website is live, publicly accessible, and error-free. We'll check that. My website clearly displays my business name and contact details, address, email, and phone. This is another important thing. You must add the address, email, and phone for your business as well. Your support team or whomever will be taking user requests. So yes, we have that. Any DBA or alternate business names are clearly disclosed on the site if applicable. Yes, that is true. I have provided my website URL and opt-in form URL as well. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the campaign details. It's important that you provide the website URL as well as the opt-in form URL as well. So it's better to just double down on that whenever you're doing the application. It does not hurt to add more information for this. So yes, we provided that. My opt-in method is clearly shown. Either through a website form, QR code, or paper form. Yep, it's through a website form. My opt-in flow includes all required disclosures, message purposes, frequency, stop, help, and consent language. Yes, we emphasize the importance of that. My privacy policy is published and accessible from the opt-in flow. That is correct as well. My terms of service are published and accessible from the website. That is also correct. And my website does not reference purchased, rented, or affiliated lead lists. That is correct. Now, for the last two right here, privacy policy and terms of service, those are extremely important, obviously, but it's very important that we emphasize that you must have privacy policy and terms of service page available to your users, either through a hyperlink at the bottom of the page or however you want to do so. It just needs to be visible and there for the user to read, just to understand basically what they're getting themselves into. So very important that you add that. And I believe that is everything. And once everything is done, we hit review application. It will ask you once more, are you positive this is everything that is, this is the application that you want to send? And we'll have a little review sheet of all the information that you provided. And once you've looked at that, you can finally submit your application. And after a couple of days, they will get back to you and say, we denied or we approved your application. And if it has been denied, they do give a reason. However, it is a little more on the vague side. So you might just have to double check everything to make sure that all of the information is correct and you are well within the terms of use. So, and I believe that's everything. Mustafa, do you have anything you want to add?
Nope, that's that. And once you submit that, and hopefully within 3 to 5 business days, you get accepted, then you have the ability to send out text messages using the system. And that would be it. And that is how you do your A2P campaigns and try to make sure to get your $25 that you're spending for the A2P approval gets done within the first try. And as I said earlier at the start of this video, that Cohen has been able to get our A2P approval for our clientele to get passed within the first submission. It's been a rare case that we get the disapproval or a denial, and then we have to look into what went wrong. And usually it's some small fixes here and there, and then it gets approved on the second try. But yeah, that is how you complete your A2P approval. Once that's done, you can start sending out text messages from the system and work on your SMS strategy. And that is what we wanted to present to you today. And yeah, that's it. And we hope to see you with something new next week as well. Until then, bye.